MQ, you won't believe this. Drasna is finally going to appear in the anime. What do you mean? Isn't this exciting? Drasna is the GILF of the Pokemon franchise. Oh, I get it. You're a non-believer, aren't you? You don't think Drasna's a GILF, do you? Alright, well then I'll make an analysis video explaining why Drasna is a GILF. What do you say to that? Yeah, you keep that attitude, but you'll see. You'll all see. Guys, you cast of wonderful people. You oodalollies, you squad fam, you bro army. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that Drasna from Pokemon X and Y is an underrated waifu and an absolute GILF? If you said no, then forget everything I just said. You're not a wonderful person. You're not my oodalolly. You're not part of the squad fam. And you're not my bro. Because if you say pass to Drasna, then I'll say pass to you. Because we here at the Bayonet Appreciation Club have unanimously decided that Drasna, despite not being a ghost-type trainer, is our choice for the best Poke Waifu. Yes, it is! Now we're all familiar with the Pokemon franchise and the amount of waifus it has. I mean, my first ever waifu was actually Dawn from the Pokemon anime. But, sad story about that. Well, I had a crush on Dawn as a kid. I also shipped her with Ash. And it wasn't even that I self-inserted myself as Ash. I just knew that this other guy could make her happier than me. But luckily for me, Pokemon is chock full of waifus. Well, let me ask you lads and lasses a little something. What type of waifu are you looking for? You like calm and quiet waifus? We got you with Erica and Valerie. You like girls who will absolutely dominate you? Then maybe Sabrina and Bee are more of your style. And no matter where you sit on the whole older sisters versus younger sisters debate, Pokemon has got you there too. And the place where Poke waifus definitely shine are the MILFs. From Delia Ketchum, who thinking about it, is probably one of the most iconic MILFs, to thick Queen Melanie, Chugga Conroy's mom, and my personal favorite Poke MILF, Lana's mom. A MILF so good they forgot to give her a name because they are too busy spanking their mankeys. Honestly, she deserves her own analysis video. But this video isn't about her. It's about the franchise's underrated GILF. Drasna is such a GILF, and I am ashamed of you people for completely undermining her. Whenever I search up Drasna Big Booba fanart on Google, almost nothing good shows up. Though at least Apocalypse knows what's up.
Drasna? Absolutely.
Yes.
Very
old lady.
Underrated mom energy.
Yes.
It seems like people just don't understand the power that GILFs have. But as Jello said when referring to Drasna, underrated mom energy. Now sure, technically speaking, something that people tend to forget is that the definition of a MILF is more subjective than we think. MILF stands for Mother I'd Like to Fuck, but emphasis on I'd. A waifu that may be a MILF for you may not be everyone's cup of booba milk, but there are certain waifus that the majority of people can join hands and agree is a MILF. I already brought up some of the Poke MILFs, but some objective MILFs from other franchises include Suki Uzaki, aka Uzaki-chan's mom, Mrs. Incredible, Jimmy's mom, and all these other waifus. But there are certain attributes that a waifu can have that can make calling her a MILF an objective fact. Let me ask you guys a serious question. What do you love about MILFs? Well, there are a lot of answers to this question. Some would say they're big, milky boobas. Some would say they're warm thighs. And others would say their caring personality. And despite what you might think, all of these valid answers can be put together and be described with two simple words. Angela Apocalypse already nailed it. Mom energy. Though I prefer to use mommy energy, but mom energy and MILF energy are also valid. We need to think about this. What separates a MILF from a hot older woman? It's quite simple. When you call a hot older woman mommy, it will only ever have one meaning, and you probably already know what that meaning is. But when it comes to MILFs, calling them mommy can actually have two meanings. Sure, you can still call a MILF mommy in a sexual way, but you can also call them mommy in a platonic way. Like I just really had a stressful day and I need a hug that isn't necessarily sexual. A hot older woman is only there to give you sex. A MILF is there to give you sex and care for you. That's my theory on why we love MILFs. So now we go back to Drasna and why it just baffles me that I don't see more people appreciating her. With just one look at her, and you can already feel the mommy aura permeating around her. Could it be because, as much as I personally like them, X and Y are just universally known as the most forgettable Pokemon games? Maybe, but it could also be because GILFs, as a whole, are underrated. Now let's think. What would the age range of a MILF be? Well, teen pregnancy is a thing, so technically someone as young as a teenager can be a MILF. And menopause usually occurs as late as age 50, so I guess that's the age range we're working with. So what about GILFs? Well, once again, teen pregnancy is a thing, so if both the GILF and their child had kids as teenagers, then we can place the GILF to be as young as late 20s. And then they can be as old as any age beyond that. And unfortunately, we as a society seem to have a preference for the age of our waifus. Waifus are usually pretty young, though when it comes to MILFs, people are more forgiving. For example, Suki Ozaki is 43 years old, and yet she was looted so much that the actual author of Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out gave her a spin-off manga, with that manga also being geared towards cultured adults. But for some reason, the same forgiveness for the older age doesn't seem to be given towards MILFs. Could it be that GILFs are too old? Well, if so, then that's horseshit. MILFs are like a fine wine. The older they get, the better. And so when a MILF enters GILF territory, people should be more excited about them. Think about it. What is a GILF really? GILFs are the mother of MILFs. They are a MILF to a MILF. An uber MILF. But for some strange reason, I'm the only one who can see this. So what? Because GILFs likely have loose skin, saggy boobas, and graying hair? Well, I'd say those features add to a GILF. The loose skin and saggy boobas make the GILF more huggable. And the grayish hair? Bitch! In ape society, the silverback gorilla is literally seen as a sexy beast. Checkmate society. But I just won't tell you these things. Since no one but me seems to appreciate Drasna, I decided to be the hero humanity needs and draw a piece of Drasna fan art that perfectly exemplifies how I feel about this beautiful woman. So as you can see, I drew Drasna in a sort of workout outfit with yoga pants and a sports bra. This way we can have her showing off some skin, but in a way that feels natural and doesn't necessarily sexualize her. Now, if you look at this midsection here, you can see the huggableness that I was talking about earlier. The same goes for the softness of the boobas. And now look at her face. Her eyes closed like they always are. As we all know, the eyes are the windows to the soul. So with her eyes closed, it gives off this air of mystery, and it makes her feel almost unattainable, which makes you just want her more. After all, we always want what we can't have. And look at the embarrassed expression on her face. Imagine coming into Drasna's home and walking in on her mid-workout, and she goes, "Ara, I can't believe you walked into an old woman dressed like this. This must be so embarrassing for the both of us." And then your reply is a meme image or something. So there you go. A brief explanation on why Drasna is the best GILF and the most underrated Poke Waifu. You're welcome for any awakenings or cans of worms this video may have opened up for people. You all know me as Instant Danny Boy, the handsome and charming founder and vice principal of the Bayonet Appreciation Club. As you all may remember, I started this club because I felt that Bayonet was underrated. And now, I am proud to announce that I have started a new club, the GILF Appreciation Gang. Our goal, similarly to the BAC, is to bring GILFs to the public eye and get people to realize the greatness that GILFs have. Like and subscribe if you wish to join either of these clubs. I shall see you next time for when we analyze Lana's mom. Have a above average day, you pretty good people, I think. Ha! My Drasna analysis video is complete. What do you say to that? Okay, mister, GILFs aren't amazing. Who is your Poke Waifu then? Oh, okay. That weird comment that I may or may not agree with aside, you do realize that Gardenia is scared of ghost types, right?